Hello, good evening, everyone. Hello,
Evening.
welcome to Global Voices Live. Today's conversation is called The Season That Almost Made Us Quit. But before we dive into the topic, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Ashia Sayed. I live in Maryland past 28 years. I'm a pharmacist, and now I'm a proud digital business owner. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Patsy, and I am a mother of four and grandmother to nine. And I came from Brunei, and now I am residing in Edmonton, Alberta, and I'm a proud digital business owner and mentor.
Hi everyone, my name is Sandy. I'm originally from Panama but currently residing in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. I also work in the movie industry and I'm a proud digital business owner and mentor.
Hi everyone, I am Asma Hais. I am a digital business mentor based in the USA with my family. I help people learn simple online skills to start and grow their own digital business.
Hi everyone, how is everyone doing? My name is Alia Khan. I'm a doctor, I'm a physician, and I live in Maryland with my beautiful family and three kids, and currently working in high school system. And I am now a proud digital business owner. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anna Toure. I'm originally from Senegal, currently living here in the US, state of North Carolina. I'm a stay-home mom, and I'm a proud digital business owner and a mentor. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Maimuna Diallo. I'm from West Africa, Guinea. I'm a proud digital business owner and I'm living in New York with my four kids. Thank you.
Hi there. My name is Falak Shirazi. I'm residing in Indiana, USA, mom of three by profession. I'm a teacher and a trainer as well. Nowadays, I started my online digital business a year and a half and running very successfully. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Miriam. I am from Jamaica. I'm a wife, a mom, and a grandma to one. And I'm a nurse over 20 years, registered nurse. And now I'm a proud digital business owner.
Hi, I'm Roxanne from Seattle, Washington. I'm a mom, a property accountant by profession, and a proud digital business owner. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Global Voices Live. Today's conversation is called The Season That Almost Made Us Quit. We often celebrate persistence, we highlight resilience, but what we don't talk about enough are the seasons that nearly broke that resilience, the quiet burnout, the private doubt that we always have in the back of our minds, the moments when walking away felt easier than continuing. Tonight, we are having an honest conversation about those seasons and what made us stay. Thank you.
Today, today I am talk about when doubt was louder than belief. There was a time when doubt felt louder than any confidence I had built. I questioned everything, my decision, my direction, even my ability. And the hardest part wasn't external pressure, it was the uncertainty within myself. I almost gave up simply because I couldn't see the result yet. But looking back now, I understand that doubt wasn't there to stop me. It was there to test my commitment, not my capability. If you have ever felt this way, you are not alone. Take the first step and explore what's possible for you. Thank you.
Burnout, but not broken. Exhaustion doesn't always look like giving up. Sometimes it looked like quietly wondering whether it's worth it. There was a season I almost walked away, not because I didn't believe anymore, but because I was simply tired. Tired of pushing, tired of waiting, tired of caring much at once. And when you are exhausted, everything feels heavier. Even the progress you have made starts to feel invisible. But here is what I have learned: burnout isn't always a sign that you're on the wrong path. Sometimes it's a signal your soul needs rest, not retreat. You don't have to quit. You just have to pause, breathe, and refill. Because your breakthrough doesn't come from running on empty. It comes from a renewed, realigned, and ready again. Rest if you have need to, but don't let exhaustion rewrite your purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, Papsi. The silent comparison that the trap that almost made me quit. I almost walked away, not because it wasn't working, but because I was watching everyone else too closely. Every scroll left felt like proof that I was behind. People celebrating wins, posting results, moving at a pace that made me question my own. And slowly, without realizing it, I started doubting myself. I started asking, I am doing something wrong. Why it is taking me longer? Maybe this just isn't for me. But here what I have learned. Comparison doesn't show you the full picture. It shows you highlights, not the process. It shows you outcomes, not the effort, the delays, the setback. And when you compare your real life to someone else highlight reel, you will always feel behind. That's the trap. So I had to pause, reset, and get honest with myself. I realized I wasn't actually stuck. I was just distracted. Distracted by timelines that were never meant for me. Distracted by journeys that don't carry my responsibility, my story, or my pace. Because the truth is, growth isn't synchronized. Success isn't one side fits all. And your timeline is not late, it's yours. The moment I stopped watching everyone else and started focusing on what I was building, everything shifted. I gained clarity. I moved with more confidence. And most importantly, I kept going. I want to say that you don't need to catch up. You just need to stay consistent. Your path will make sense once you stop comparing it. Thank you.
Cultural or family pressure comes with balancing expectations. Let me say here, choosing a different direction requires courage and trust in your own purpose. That's the thing. That's the goal you have. For me, the pressure was not only personal, it was cultural as well. There were expectations about stability and certainty. I almost quit because I did not want to disappoint anyone from my family or outside anybody. It was a question. It was a question mark for me. The only thing I need was the trust, which should be aligned with my ultimate goal. And my ultimate goal was to win, to show up every day, no matter what. I need what I want to get that. Thank you.
Thank you, Falak. So I'm gonna be talking about internal voice, the harsh self-talk. So the voice that almost stopped me wasn't a critique online. It wasn't family. It wasn't strangers. It was my own. After 25 years in the film industry, I was used to performing at a high level. I was competent, experienced, reliable. I knew what I was doing. So when I entered a completely new space and didn't feel expert immediately, my internal dialogue became harsh. You should know this by now. Why is this taking so long? Maybe you're not cut out for this. No one else said those things. I did. I mistook slow progress for failure. I mistook learning curves for incompetence. And I mistook growth for weakness. And that internal pressure can be heavier than any external criticism. In our community, I see this often. People are quitting because others attack them. They quit because their own voice convinced them that they are not moving fast enough. But here's what I had to learn. Progress is not linear, and learning is not instant, and growth is not loud. And your internal voice shapes your endurance. So when I began to shift my self talk, everything changed. Instead of this is taking too long, I started saying this is building capacity. Instead of I'm behind, I reframe I'm growing at my pace. Encouragement is not weakness, it's fuel. Athletes don't perform better with constant self criticism. Leaders don't grow through internal punishment. And parents don't model resilience through self shaming. The same applies to us. Your internal voice either strengthens you or drains you. So, self compassion doesn't mean lowering standards, it means supporting yourself while you rise. In life, we often extend grace to others but deny it to ourselves. We tell others, keep going, you're learning, you're doing better than you think. But internally, we say, not enough. The shift happens when you realize you cannot build a strong future with a voice that tears you down. So here is the takeaway for you from this point. Pay attention to how you speak to yourself in slow seasons. Your internal voice should coach you, not crush you. Encouragement builds stamina, and grace builds resilience, and self respect builds confidence. And when your inner dialogue becomes aligned with growth instead of fear, you stop fighting for yourself and start strengthening yourself. That's where sustainable confidence begins. Thank you.
Okay, so when results are invisible and trusting what you can't see yet. So all of us have mentioned somewhat about this invisibility and not feeling like you can grow. So I'll just use a scenario from my nursing profession because if say for instance a patient had a major surgery, the second day they're gonna still look and they feel terrible, but microscopically though their body is working overtime to mend everything back together, to knit the tissue back together. And so I've seen that in my career, the most important healing happens when the patient is still. Just because you don't see the recovery on the outside yet doesn't mean that the work isn't being done. And our online business or business is the same. Your invisible season is your internal strengthening, and we have to trust the process. And when the vitals signs don't look perfect yet, and we learn that we can't compare our digital business to an iceberg, because while we appear to be stagnant and we almost want to give it up, that is when we are building our groundwork. They often compare, speakers often compare that to a seed that you plant. The seed has to, before the seed gets to a tree or a fruit tree or whatever tree it is, it has to really build its foundation. So it's putting down the anchors and just anchoring it in the soil and everything, and it's getting ready to push up a massive tree. So we have to think about that, think about it like that. We can't give up. We know we're building ourselves, building the background. So in other words, you're not seeing any fruit because you're still growing the roots. And so we have to adapt that kind of thinking. And that's my 2 cents on that. Back to you, Sandy, or next speaker.
Thank you, Mariam. So, guys, today I'm going to emphasize on the value of resting instead of quitting. So, we are human beings, right? We all feel exhausted, drained, overwhelmed. We have mood swings. We get depressed, different kind of mood swings and, situations we get into. It's according to our circumstances, our day-to-day challenges. But my thing is that quitting brings everything to full stop and halt. You know what halt is? When everything comes to an end. Nothing is happening, nothing is moving. But choosing pause over exit. Exit is when we totally get out of that situation. We are not pursuing that career or that path. Guys, it does not only happen to us in digital online marketing business, but in our life too. In housework, in day to day work, day to day challenges at work, we feel the same way. But what changed everything and prospect for me was realizing I didn't have to choose between burning out and quitting. I can pause, I can rest, and I can adjust. Quitting felt permanent, but resting felt restorative. That shift kept me moving. And here is the small poem comes. Rest, don't quit. Just pause the race, breathe in calm, give strength its space. Quiet moments built you, it's not the end, it's time to mend. For those who rest, not walk away, return much stronger the next day. Thank you. Back to you, Sandy.
Listening to everyone tonight, I noticed a pattern. Almost quitting did not come from weakness. It came from pressure, exhaustion, comparison, and doubt. But this season that nearly made us stop often become the season that's training us the most. Staying does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it look quiet. Sometimes it look like showing up tired. Sometimes it look like trying again anyway. And maybe that is what our story reveal. We are stronger than we are realizing. Thank you.
If you're watching this right now and you're on the edge of quitting, just listen closely because this moment, this exact season you're in, this is where most people walk away. Not because they're not capable, because it got hard, because it got quiet, because the results didn't come fast enough. But what if I told you this isn't the end of your story? This is part that besides your story. That doubt in your mind is not a stop sign, but it's a test. That exhaustion in your body, it's not failure, it's just a signal to reset. That slow, invisible progress is not nothing. It's a root that is growing deep where no one can see. And the truth is, anyone can keep going when it's easy, but not everyone has the strength to stay when it's silent, when it's uncomfortable, when it feels like nothing is working. So if you're in that season right now, questioning everything, do not quit. Pause if you need to, breathe if you have to, but don't walk away from something that could change your life just because it didn't happen yet. You are closer than you think. And this season is not breaking you, it's building you to be the better version of yourself. So just stay, take one day at a time, then show up again tomorrow. Because the people who win are the people that never quit and just keep going. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxanne. So we have arrived to the end of our lives. So we hope so that you got inspired with what we shared today, in terms of, the season that almost made us quit. So we all, sometime in our lives, it could be in this business, it could be in general in life, we come to a point where we want to quit, what we're doing. But when we pause, when we reflect, we realize so many things. We realize, for example, we talk so many things today, like, for example, the way you talk to yourself, um, understanding or reflecting that right now, yes, it's taking a little bit longer, but you are building the foundation. um, you might not see the results yet, Or sometimes, like the results that you're looking, you're not seeing it, but in reality you're getting some results in yourself because it's about growth, but you're not seeing it, but other people that are on the outside, they can see how you're changing. So many things, that happens in that moment that made us to reflect, that made us to remember, um, why we started this, or why are we on this journey, and it gives you that inspiration to continue. um, so we just have to remove those doubts, remove those limitation beliefs, the way we talk, and start, changing those into positive thinking, and start talking to yourself in a positive way, in a way that you're building that belief into yourself. So you start continue your journey. Um, the way, the conclusion that Sis Roxanne just mentioned at the end is a very well conclusion of what it involves everything that we touched today, because really, um, I think it's the moment that you realize that where you are at that age, that's the moment that you really understand, and you grow, because you understand there is a process. And when you understand that there is a process, you're not going to feel the same way on another time that it might present to yourself. You're going to be reacting in a different way because you know how to bounce back and continue on your journey. So that's the difference from when you experience this. And we all go through that. I have experienced this too. So I know that, you get to a point where you're like on that edge, saying like, am I doing this the right way, or like, did I make the right decision? But when you reflect in your life and why you started something, you realize that yes, you're on the right track. You just gotta be patient with yourself, patient with, you know, like for example in this, patient with the business, patient towards others. So um, it's a learning process, but that's what it is. It's part of growing, part of building those roots that we don't see yet, but eventually we'll see the result. So if you want to add something to the topic that we shared today, put it in the comments. I will be happy to read your comments. And if you want to be part of a global online community that uplifts you, that motivates you, that that keep pushing you, to achieve your goals, your dreams. Here are three ways that you can get in touch with us. You can either put in the comments more info, you can send us a private message, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have, or you can register directly into our website with your name and email address, and we'll send you that invitation to our free webinar. So we do have free webinar twice a week. It's every Tuesdays and Thursdays at the same time. So um, 5 p.m. PST, 6 p.m. MST, 7 p.m. CST, and 8 p.m. EST. So when you register into our website, you receive an email with two links. The first one is to register to the live webinar, so you can pick either day or both. And second link is to the link to the replay, just in case you cannot attend to the live webinar, you can always catch the replay through that link. So saying that, we want to say thank you to everyone that has watched the live with us today. For those catching the replay, thank you so much. And to our followers, thank you so much for being part of our journey, for believing in us, and for engaging with our content. And to end, we're going to end with our little thought. Um, Different paths brought us here, but we are reminded tonight that no one grows alone. So thank you for being part of this conversation. And this is Global Voices Live, where starting over is honor and not rush. So thank you again, everyone. We want to wish everyone a happy and blessed Friday for those on a Friday, and a happy and blessed Saturday for those who are enjoying already the weekend, and a happy and blessed weekend ahead for everyone. So thank you again, and we'll see you again on Monday for another episode of the Global Voices Live. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all. Thank you for
Thank
watching.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you all.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
Sandy.
you.
Thank you. Thanks, Sandy.